Well, I hope you're having a good day, and if you want to come along with me on a ranching adventure for today, here we go. I'm going to go feed some cows. So wintertime has decided to show up here in Wyoming. It was a pretty mild winter last year, and it started out that way this year, but now it showed up, and I think it's right about 0 degrees out. Here's the snow, the landscape. Trampoline's getting filled up with snow. These are a bunch of limbs that broke off a tree the first snowstorm, but yeah, so when it gets cold like this, I wear these really itchy long johns if I can get to them, if I get all the way undressed. Made by Stanfield's is the name of them. They're thick and heavy duty, and it's 100% wool, so it is itchy, but I'd rather be a little bit itchy than cold. And then this is a Filson Goose Down coat, which I had no idea Goose Down was so warm, but this thing is really warm. And then this is a Woolrich wool shirt. There, got it. And I've got these Filson tin cloth chaps on, and under that I just got some regular wool pants. But these gloves, these things are some heavy duty insulated son of a guns. They're made by a company called, I think it's Dakota. My wife got them for me up in Canada. We don't have gloves this well insulated around here, so it's pretty nice. But of course I got a crown cap on, keep my head warm in a wild rag. But what you got to do is come out and unplug your pickup. Yeah, I've got some custom wiring harness here. It's kind of hard to come by, but and really expensive, but it'll keep this in place, this wiring harness here. And then unplug that. And we're going to get in and fire up. Something interesting about this pickup is it's a 2018 and it's a manual transmission. That's kind of rare and hard to find. There are also, I think, 2 firearms somewhere in this pickup, but I got so much other stuff in here that I sure couldn't get one out quick. So if somebody was to try to rob me, I'd have to call a timeout until I got my guns out. But we're going to fire her up and then go load a hay bale. Well, I found one of them, 22 pistol. That's my pitchfork I use to feed hay. It's custom made handle right there. A little bit shorter than your regular pitchfork. Custom made handles are as hard to come by as that wiring harness on the front of the pickup. Just in case anybody was being nosy and saw this little piece of paper sitting there that said overdue on it, it's some marketing for an oil change. It's not an overdue bill or anything. Not that those aren't floating around in here, but that's what that was. And we got some transformer toys in here because my 5-year-old comes with a lot. And you got to navigate through the snow drifts that I've kind of got to plow out every other day to get down to the barn to get the hay for the cows. Then I got our park down here by the hay barn. I say hi to the horses here. Yeah, this one here's Deeds. That's Fancy. That guy don't have a name yet. Rambo back there. That's Stick. That's Bud. Spud. Doesn't have a name yet. And Oscar. But show you another cool ranching equipment here. This is my cake feeder. Some people have fancy automatic cake feeders, but this is just a fiberglass tank. It had a hole right there, so I patched that. And yeah, fill this thing up with cake. Use that handy dandy scoop shovel and shovel it out. I'll be using this here again more often than I will be feeding hay, because we'll be moving the cows to where there's more grass and I won't really need to feed hay. But yeah, that's how I keep my big old gropey arm muscles and stay in shape, is shoveling a bunch of that. It's really fun. Well, here we are in the hay barn. Here's the old John Deere. Notice the tow rope on the back of it. I tend to get stuck, so my wife's got to come pull me out. We'll unplug this guy. You'll notice this doesn't have the fancy wiring harness. It just has a plastic zip tie. But I'm going to go put 2 hay bales on the back of that pickup. You kind of got to step gingerly when you first come in here, make sure there's no coons or skunks, which there are some coons around that have killed all of our chickens. But get 2 of these alfalfa bales and head out there. All right, now we're going to sit in here and let the tractor warm up for a second. This is a John Deere tractor. Not a fan of them at all, so so I don't want this thing to break down and me have to go give John Deere any more money. Really don't like John Deere as a company. You'll notice the ceiling in this one's kind of, for some reason, falling down. That's real fun to deal with, but air my seat up a little bit and grab 2 bales. All right, we got our 2 bales on there, so let's head out to the cows. If you're wondering about the 5-ton, it's still around, just needs a new alternator in it, and I don't like working on stuff when it's cold out. Well, the cows are showing up, so I'm gonna feed right out of here across all this sagebrush. Sagebrush is pretty easy to kill, especially if you feed some hay on it and the cows just tromping on it will kill it. But one thing I'll mention is that I am kind of allergic to this alfalfa hay, so I really don't like it to get in my eyes because it makes them really itchy. So I gotta wear protection out there, so don't make fun of me. So the way I feed this is I put the pickup in low range. That's why it's got to be a manual transmission. And I'll cut the hay bale strings, and I'll just put it in first gear, and it'll just idle along out there and hopefully go relatively straight, and I'll just flake this hay off to them. And yeah, that's why we got to have a manual transmission pickup. So off the pickup goes, hopefully going straight. Got my custom made pitchfork here, and then, well, this is just kind of falling off on its own. I just flake a chunk off that side and then come over here and flake one off this side. Once I get this bale fed, I'll stop the pickup, cut the strings on that one, then I'll get up on the back of the pickup and feed it. But that's how it goes. Well, got them all fed. I'm gonna go and get another bale to feed the yearlings and the heifer calves, but this is the first flake that I flaked off, and I literally just got done. You know, it just took a couple minutes, and you can see they've devoured it down to nothing. You know, so they inhale it pretty quick. But you can see what it does to this sagebrush. You know, that was probably a healthy live sagebrush plant. It's all broken to shit now, so that's why I like to feed the hay on the sagebrush, get rid of some of it. All right, got the last bale on. I'm out here where the yearlings and heifer calves are. Gonna feed them, and then that might be the day. I've got hockey tonight. Believe it or not, I play hockey, but the bad news is that I left my hockey equipment in my pickup for the last several nights, and it's been below zero, so putting on frozen hockey equipment's really fun. And if you're wondering, yes, I do play in the NHL, the Night Hockey League. Am I any good? No, I'm not. I'm 40-some years old. I'm not good at any physical activities anymore. Well, except for one, but we won't talk about that, if you know what I mean. Well, got them all fed, so time to head home. If you stayed for the whole thing, thanks for watching. Have a good day.